Kevin Breen here, Garage Boxing on the scene. We have a man, Brian Mcknight,
Yeah, man.
entertainer extraordinaire, boxing fan. We're at the Glendale Glory pre-fight weigh-in, and you know, there's a lot of boxing people here, celebrities. And Brian, what brings you here?
I'm actually the guy who trains me as a fighter in the fight tomorrow night. I'm actually going to be one of his cornermen tomorrow, just to see what it's like to sort of be there in the middle of the fracas. It's going to be incredible.
Have you been to some of the big fights in Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
And like
I've been to a bunch of Tyson fights back when it was, you know, what I call boxing's. I wouldn't say their heyday, because, you know, boxing comes up and down, but for heavyweights, I think it was the heyday. Definitely.
Right, like Tyson, Holyfield, and stuff like that.
The first fight when Roy Jones got his belt from Tony back in the day as well, and when Tarver beat Roy, and I've been to a bunch of fights.
Yeah. And, you know, you talk about some of those guys like Tarver's retired.
Right.
Roy, you know, he kind of wish he was retired. Maybe. Poor guy.
He better retire now.
Hopefully. But, you know, it's like on the local level, we're here, and it's like exciting to be. Now, you're just like I said, dabbling, but you're
dabbling in a sense. It was really to get into shape. I was about what I felt at least 20 pounds overweight. Even though I'm 6'5", I could carry that weight, but I really wanted to see if I could get back into fighting kind of weight, get down to 205, 200. And in 2 months of working out 2 hours a day with my trainer, Phil, I lost it all and learned to fight at the same time, learned the science of boxing. And I think you have to be crazy to actually get into the ring, which I'm not, but I think that the skill that it takes is on another level.
Mm-hmm. And tell us about what you're doing now. You got the radio show here
Actually,
locally.
I have a local radio show, and I have a syndicated show in the evening that goes out to 47 markets on the East Coast and in the central part of the United States, which is a nighttime sort of quiet storm show. Then I have my own television show here in LA on KCAL 9 on Saturday nights at 11 and on 220 markets across the country. So get real busy. Got a brand new CD out, Evolution of a Man, as well. And what else am I doing?
Got a new furniture line coming out. I mean,
nah, I'm doing a play starting in March, and I'm going on tour in the summer.
Holy dickens, this guy's got a full plate. He's here. We appreciate him taking the time, and you know, and also appreciate it because you know boxing. You've been to the fights. You're a fan. You're trained.
Once you start training, you really get a different respect for what these guys do, and it's different. I mean, MMA is fine. It's entertaining to me, but to actually stand toe to toe with a guy where you can't run, you can't grab him, you can't throw him to the ground. You really have to stand there and either give punishment or take it. It takes.
You can't tap out, can you?
Tap out. Well, you can, but it's gonna hurt.
Right. You know, and we've got a lot of big fights coming up. You know, obviously today it was just announced PACQUIAO Mayweather's not going to happen. Right. A lot of people wanted to see that. Any opinions on that at all?
I thought that was going to be the fight of this new decade. You know, the fight to set the precedent of hopefully the kind of fights we used to see when you saw Leonard fight Hagler a couple of times. He fought Duran. He fought Tommy Hearns. You know, you could have got 2 or 3 fights out of this. Could have been the greatest fights that we've seen
Mosley,
in a while. Yeah, all of that. I hate that we're in an era where every sport that these drugs come into play, man, and it sucks. And
is it the drugs or is it the money?
I think it's a little both. I think on the one hand, you can't believe that a guy can go through all these weight classes and beat everyone. If he does, then you have to think, well, he must be doing something. So now there's all the speculations, like Lance Armstrong, it's like Barry Bonds, all these things, because as the general public, we don't necessarily know. All we can go by is what the experts say. And all I really want to do is see that fight.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people say, hey, look, you know, it's such a big fight that maybe it is warranted to take blood tests, but everybody before him and all the other fights that both guys have fought have just been urine. And so now it's like, you know, some people saying there might be a ploy that Floyd's doing and like, or, you know, Pacquiao's dirty.
By the same token, from what I understand, the research I've done, that the best drugs for this particular kind of thing are found in the Philippines. So, at the same time, I can see both sides of the argument, but at the same time, man, at a certain point,
let's fight.
Let's fight. Of course, I'm not the fighter.
Right. Easier said
and I've seen how he's destroyed everybody else. So.
You know, so now you got other fights coming up.
Right.
Mosley, Pacquiao, or Mosley, Berto.
Right.
You know, you got any opinion on that?
Well, I know Shane. I've known him for a long time. The last couple of fights he's had, I've been rooting for him to come back. You know, with everything that's happened with the divorce and all the Margarito, all these sorts of things, man. It would be great for him to really get that next fight, because I think he wins that one. I think that either Pacquiao or Floyd are next on the plate. So, hey, I wish him the best.
Back to Pacquiao and Mayweather one more time. If the fight does wind up happening in the near future or like by the end of the year, who are you picking?
That's a tough one.
Heads or tails?
It's speed against power, man. And it's really whoever's the most prepared mentally and physically that night.
Speed Mayweather, power Pacquiao?
Yeah, will win. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I can't really pick one or the other guy. I mean, I could go with Floyd because his record is impeccable, unblemished.
What do you think about the Super Six? You following that on Showtime? That's like, you know, some of these other guys, middleweights, you know, maybe not like the welterweights that are kind of real deep division right now. You have any opinion on any of those guys?
My opinion is, where are the heavyweights, man? That's what everybody's saying. Where are these guys?
Well, their names. There's two. There's Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko.
Yeah.
They're over there.
And you know what though? I don't want to fight either one of those guys.
Yeah.
You know, you see how hard they punch. But what we haven't done is that we haven't bred the next generation of great fighters in that particular weight.
They're in the NFL, right?
Maybe. Because I don't know. I've seen some of those guys fight, the ones that haven't made it, and you know, it's a whole different mentality. I think, you know, it's again something that you have to start at a very young age, like most sports. I mean, most of those football players didn't start playing football as a senior in high school. They started playing in Pop Warner and did the whole thing. I think, you know, we got to go in and say, you know, you see a kid, get him off the street, you know, the same way they used to do it 25, 30 years ago and 50 years ago, and get them interested in the sport. Show them that it's more than just brawling. But again, it takes a very special individual to step in a ring where you could get your head taken off. Because most people can't handle that kind of defeat.
It's life or death.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? This guy, he's got it going on, man. You know, we appreciate him taking the time. You know, he knows his boxing. You know, again, Brian Mcknight, tune in, whether it be on the radio or on TV. Right. And, hey, man, see you at the fights, huh?
Thanks, man.